Hey guys and gals, thanks for coming back to the channel once again. This next video we're going to show you how to change the transmission fluid in our this is a 2018 Centurion FI 21, and right down in there you can see the dipstick for the transmission fluid. It doesn't take much. It is ATF fluid that it uses. There is another section of the transmission that we're not going to bother with right now, but that's for a later discussion. So right now I'm going to show you how to do this. And while I'm yakking, make sure that you bring lots of towels and paper towels. You're going to need, what I use is a garbage can to put disposed of filters and rags and whatever. You're going to need a pump. I'll probably put some links to the description for these fluid pumps in there. And this particular boat takes Dex Merc ATF automatic transmission fluid. So, and it doesn't take much, so a gallon will go probably several years. Please subscribe. Look at all the other Centurion videos that I've got, and you know, some of these videos, even if you're not running a Centurion, will work with a Supreme or some other makes and models, because a lot of them use the same engine, same transmissions. Also, check your specs on your particular boat in your manual to make sure you're putting the right fluid in. I'm not responsible for you putting in the wrong fluid because you saw me put in a specific fluid. So make sure, and if you're not comfortable, go to your dealer. We like to support our dealers, but some of us, it's a little bit troublesome to get to the dealer, and we're kind of handy anyway. So here we go. So the first thing is use lots of towels, cover up your upholstery, make sure you don't have it exposed because you're gonna probably drip something, especially if you've never done this before. First thing we'll do is remove the cap. And put it on a rag here. And we'll zoom in a little bit, let you see what it looks like in there. So you got a little tiny hole to work with, and that is an issue. So that's why we have the pump, and I'll show you how that works. Here you can see I've got a couple of different pumps. They're basically the same. They're just a hand pump, and they have an in and an out. And then this tiny little skinny tube here that will go down inside the dipstick hole, and then an evacuation, an out tube that will take the fluid out into whatever container you're catching your fluid in. All right, so just like that, we've got the pump tube down inside the opening for your dipstick, and I kind of wiggled it around until I got to the bottom of the transmission. You're not going to get every ounce of tranny fluid out of here, but you know, you're changing it regularly, so it's better than not doing it. And then here is it connected to our pump, and then I'm going to capture it in that little container down there. So I'm just going to get to pumping. I'm not going to show you that part because I don't have 3 hands to do it with, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You just pull up on the handle there until the fluid starts coming up, and then you make sure that it's going into the container. It's pretty simple. Well, I had to switch pumps because the other one quit working, but anyway, it is going forward. And look at the color of the fluid. This, you know, this is ATF automatic transmission fluid here, and yours may take a different type, but it's really still quite pink. Usually when these fluids get old and worn out, they turn kind of a yellowish or a brown. You know you've gone too far if they're brown, but this one's still got a pretty good kind of a pinkish purple color to it, and it's about 75 hours old. So it looks like I'm doing pretty good with keeping my fluid fresh. Okay, so I was able to get about a quart, just shy of a quart, out of the transmission using this pump until it started sucking a ton of air. So that's about what we're going to put back in. And like I said, you're not going to get every ounce out of there, but try to put exactly back in what you took out, so you're going to be really close to the level that you need to be. You don't want to overfill these things, because that creates more pressure and can cause some problems. So here's what we pulled out. There's a little bit spilled in the bottom, but using this container, it looks like about 22 or 23 ounces. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this in the bin or the basin with the old motor oil that we just changed. And then we're going to refill it to that mark with the new stuff. And another thing is to kind of eyeball it and see if you see any like metal shavings, any other kind of debris in there, water. I don't really see anything bad in there, but okay, so you guys can leave comments in the down below in the comments section if you want. If you got any better tips on how to do this. I don't really understand why they designed it with just a dipstick hole to put transmission fluid back in. It seems like they could have used a larger opening with a dipstick built in, like it was on my Malibu. But it is what it is, and so now we have to put almost a quart of this ATF fluid into that same container that I've cleaned out, and then we're going to transfer pump it back in, which is kind of a pain, but that's how it's done. As far as I know, if you guys got any better ideas, be sure and make comments down at the bottom. All right, so we've got about the same level that I pulled out. That marking actually there is for my CRF 250X Honda for the oil, so it's kind of funny, it uses about the same amount. But the color there is just a little bit brighter. The old stuff was slightly dark, but still red-ish, purple-ish, whatever. So we're just gonna get the transfer pump out and put it back in. I swapped ends on the hoses or the tubes here, so the skinny one's obviously still being used for the dipstick hole, and we're going from that container out to the skinny one. So we'll just get to pump. You see how this garbage can works out really well for keeping things contained. So now I've removed the tube from the pump, and I'm going to take another rag down there with my other hand and pull it slowly out so that all this stuff can drain back down into the transmission. Hey, please subscribe. I need 1,000 subscribers for YouTube to make me official, and I don't have that yet as of today's filming. And also please follow the links in the description for the pumps and any other things that I use in the video. Everything that I've bought here was purchased with my own money, and that's the way all my videos are. I have a bunch of reviews for stuff too. Anyway, so the last final step here is going to be to check the fluid level. Sorry about the darkness there. There it is. Everything's tight on these boats. You can see they made a little indent here on this pipe to put the dipstick back in. It's like, almost seems like they have 3 different engineers for 3 different things, and then they just have to modify stuff. I'm going to use both hands to check so I don't drip. Okay, so the result is right there. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm right at the top of the full mark there. Now, if you overfill it, don't panic. You can always suck it back out. So just get it exactly where it needs to be. These things have a really small range, and you'll be good. Don't forget to put the cap back in. Make sure you note somewhere the hours on the boat when you had changed the oil and filter and the transmission fluid and all that stuff. Keep a log so that the next buyer can verify it's been taken care of. Go to the dealer. If this looks like a pain in the butt to you, it's not worth your time, go give the dealer the business. They they generally deserve it. So can't say enough good things about these guys. I use Northwest Boat Sports. That's where this boat came from, and I really like the guys there. So anyway, please subscribe. Look at my playlist for the other boat stuff. I do motorcycle stuff, other cars, EMP protection, reviews on Milwaukee tools, 3D printing, gardening. Pretty much all my hobbies I record and try to provide useful information. So anyway, have a good one, and we'll see you again soon on another video.